Guys, I'm not joking. We have another new fox. That's 3 now. I am just so happy to introduce you to Colin, who I initially thought was a girl, but then he turned around and now I'm pretty sure he's a boy. And we also have the alternate angle for some swinging evidence. So as you probably already know by now, I have 2 new fox visitors who are coming quite regularly. They are Lenny, who has mange and who I have not seen with my own eyes and who doesn't come very often but still seems to be hanging in there. And then we have Annie, who is very small, very orange, looks very grumpy and appears to be very pregnant. I'm not sure why Boo Boo and Tiger were staring up at my bedroom like this, but okay. So about a week ago, because we have so many new mouths to feed, I thought I'd put out not only the chicken, but also some regular dog food. Obviously, chicken and eggs are very healthy for foxes and probably the best thing that I could be feeding them. But the thing is, it's just too popular. Tiger will grab chicken if it's there, even if he doesn't want to eat it, so it meant that nothing was being left behind for Lenny and Annie, who really need it. But luckily, Tiger and Boo Boo are far too spoilt to actually eat dog food these days. So I went to bed feeling very confident that, for once, when Lenny and Annie came later that night, if they came, there would be food for them. And I was right. Annie arrived shortly after Tiger and Boo Boo left, and she managed to get herself some actual proper chicken. Twice! But in the next video, someone new hobbled into my life. Our new boy, Colin. I think Colin is immediately recognisable because of his funny back leg. I find it a bit difficult to explain, but one of his back legs, the one on the left there, is very white and he just doesn't walk on it properly. I really can't pinpoint what it is, but it's almost like it's too big for him. It's not a bad thing, Colin. I think it's cute. Oh, and if you're wondering, the downside to leaving out dog food overnight is that it never gets fully finished and I get woken up like this. Thanks guys, really appreciate it. Very surprisingly, the next night when Boo Boo arrived, she didn't arrive alone. See, I could see her down the end of the garden with another fox, but I couldn't see who that other fox was. And while Boo Boo came up close, the other fox didn't. And by the way, Boo Boo's probably broken leg is looking a lot better these days, but still not its usual self. But back to the fox at the end of the garden.
That is. Can't be Tiger. Can it? Tiger? Tiger! Huh.
I was thinking maybe this is Colin, although at the time I did not call him Colin. So I threw an egg just to see if he'd come and get it. And he did. I mean, first he ran away behind the summer house and maybe even over the wall, but he did come back. Some foxes get incredibly spooked when they see a human, so that was a good sign. And then Colin got even closer. And yes, I'm really sorry for the TV reflection on the window. Just try to ignore it, okay? Sometimes when I stay up for the foxes, I watch a muted Twitch stream while editing videos.
Do I know you? I don't think I do. You are cute though. Yes, you are.
The way this fox moves is so fascinating to me. Usually when foxes have hurt their back legs, they pull them right up so they're by their body, but this one is walking along like it's in a cast or something.
No.
Like I said, I originally thought this fox was a girl. One of the reasons for this is just that the face looks so cute. It's got that kind of cute, chubby quality, a bit like Boo Boo's. And so I just thought for sure it was a girl. Also because Colin looks a bit plump, and of course it is the mating season and the babies are on the way, so, I thought maybe that was it. The other reason I thought Colin might be a girl is a bit more long-winded, so let me get into it with evidence. It all comes down to that back leg. Is it really a coincidence that it's limping on one foot and that foot happens to be white? And it's very unusual for foxes to have white feet. And you see, this reminded me of a different fox who also had white back feet and a bit of a limp. And that fox is Tiny Tail. Tiny Tail is Boo Boo's mum, and she always had very strange back legs. Her feet had a lot more white on them than any fox I think I've ever seen before. And the whole time I knew her, she always did a bit of a waddle. And so I did always wonder if that was from an injury or whether it was genetic. So Tiny Tail never really liked to get too close to the camera, so I don't have a lot of good footage of her back legs, but hopefully you can see what I mean about the colouring on them and her very cute little walk. I used to wonder if maybe one of her feet was bigger than the other, or the leg was longer, because it just wasn't quite symmetrical, if you know what I mean. But because of the colour contrast, I could never be sure if it was actually different or it was just the white making it seem that way. And that's exactly the problem I'm having with Colin. Is there something weird about his foot, or is it just that the white makes it look so different? So I think, even though I'm not in any way an expert, that back left foot looks bigger. It looks longer, doesn't it? The toes aren't as pronounced, they look flatter, and the foot just doesn't look the same shape as the one next to it. It also just looks a bit weird, like too much of it touches the ground. I know Fox's legs do this a bit, but his just seems to do it way too much. It's almost like it's the fox equivalent of a club foot or a flat foot. I don't think I've ever seen Tiger or Boo Boo's foot do that. So back when I thought Colin was a girl, I thought he might be Belle. Belle is Boo Boo's older sister and the daughter of Tiny Tail and Bruiser. We haven't seen her around since, I don't know, late summer 2023. But as I hope you can see, she's also got a bit of a white foot. Plus, her face is super cute, so I thought it could be her. Aw, and that's her with her daddy Bruiser. He loved her so much. Here he is pampering her. She was definitely his favourite kid when they first arrived. He had 3 sons as well, but no, he loved his daughter the best. Until Boo Boo arrived. So obviously we know that Colin is a boy, so he's definitely not Belle, because Belle was a girl, because we saw her being chased around the garden during mating season. But I do think it's possible that Colin could be a sibling of Belle. Look again at this gorgeous boy's face. Those are Tiny Tail's fluffy cheeks, I'm sure of it. Plus he has that same strange foot that she does. Look at Colin in profile. And now look at Bruiser. I couldn't find the clip I was looking for, but I think they look so alike. And not just their profiles, but the whole body shape in general. Look at Bruiser. He was so solid with this gorgeous tail that ended in a bit of a wisp. And then look at Colin. Big, solid, and again with a wispy tail. Obviously it's hard to say for sure, but I just feel like this little boy has got some Bruiser and some Tiny Tail in him. Wouldn't it be nice if Colin's mum is Belle, which would make Bruiser and Tiny Tail his grandparents? That would be so sweet. Oh, and I also found skinny little teenage Boo Boo when I was looking through my videos. Wasn't she cute? Bless her, she's always been shy. So something else that initially added to my theory of Colin being Belle, which I know was wrong, was this. Look, he ran up to Boo Boo and she went into a submissive pose. She's submissive because she's on the ground, which makes her more vulnerable. I thought this might mean that Colin was a senior girl, but no, just a boy.
Who's that? Do you know each other?
Okay, so this is where the plot thickens and I get just really confused. Because I think Tiger heard the racket that Boo Boo was making and he came running. But what happened between Tiger and Colin was not what I expected.
I see you. But does he?
So I'd missed the start of this, but basically Tiger ran in and then Colin ran into the bushes. But there wasn't a fight.
Oh, Tiger, be nice, please.
When Tiger was fighting Bruiser for the territory, he was vicious. He used to bite Bruiser's nose and make him bleed. But here, he's just posturing and scent marking, not actually engaging. It felt a lot more like how Tiger reacts around girls, not boys. Because as a rule, male foxes chase off other males. They don't want them in their space. But generally, girls are allowed to stay. And for some reason, Tiger just didn't chase Colin away. Not properly. He blustered about in the bushes, but that was it.
Dramatic.
Colin hid further in the bushes, but he didn't leave the garden. Tiger didn't make him. He just made a bit of a fuss.
I see you, Tiger. Oh, what you got there?
Don't dig up the garden, Tiger. There are much better ways to take out your frustration, young man. It's so weird to me that there wasn't a big fight. Yeah, Colin might have a weird leg, but he's a big boy.
Hey, baby. You're covered in leaves now.
Tiger made sure to go and claim an egg for himself, but he just left the garden with it. he left those chicken pieces completely exposed. And even though Colin was too scared to come up and get them while I was watching him, he was still left alone to roam the garden and steal the chicken. Well, no, actually, because Tiger was lurking and made it very clear that he was watching Colin. But after nothing more than a very brief rustle in the bushes, Tiger just walked out.
What is going on?
Even though I feel like Colin had had an official warning from Tiger, that didn't stop him. He visits every single night, and a couple of nights after that run-in, he was back. And in the background, I think, so was Tiger. I guess so from the rustling bushes over there. On this particular night, there wasn't actually any drama. Colin kind of clocked that he probably shouldn't be there and that someone didn't want him to be there, but he just sat down and ate his chicken. While in the background, Tiger very grumpily ran past him. And I'm going to put the clip of Colin eating his chicken at supersonic speed so we can see it all. But it was just so cute how he was sat down like this. I know foxes do normally sit down to eat their food, but not on the patio. They always stand up. But some drama did happen the next night. Colin was having a leisurely dinner at almost 3 a.m, grabbing multiple pieces of chicken and eating them on the grass, just having a great time. And then Tiger came. There wasn't a fight. Colin seemed to get away with his chicken, and Tiger was just rustling the bushes again. 5 minutes later, when Colin thought the coast must be clear, he came back. But so did Tiger. Colin curled up on the grass like this while Tiger rustled around in all of the bushes, making a huge racket. And yeah, Colin was whimpering, just like a girl would. I don't mean that in like a misogynistic way. Just that it's a sound I associate more with girl foxes like Boo Boo or Miss P. Anyway, you want to see a submissive fox? Check out this next clip, it's wild. Poor Colin. We know he's a boy, right? We've seen the jiggling, pendulous proof. And yet he just had to sit there crying while Tiger took the last of the chicken. Okay, clearly Colin is no threat to Tiger. But why? How does Tiger know that? Tiger would not be sharing his food with any fox who could possibly hurt him. And yet he is letting Colin, as far as we know a stranger, eat. Well, I mean, not this night, because he did take the last of the food. But Colin has been back every single night since. He's been visiting for, a week? More than a week, depending on when I post this. And I've never seen him be properly attacked. I haven't seen him with a scratch on his nose, anything like that. He just comes in once I've gone to bed, swans about the patio, eats as much food as he can, and even puts his head in the house. That's where I'm hiding the dog food these days, by the way, because I think the seagulls don't know it's in there. Anyway, I would love to know your theories about Colin. Who is he and what is going on between him and Tiger and Boo Boo? It's really weird with foxes, guys. I could see Colin every night for the next 5 years, or I may never see him again. Fox politics are very complicated, and I just have no idea what's going on outside of my garden. So for months now, definitely longer than the mating season has been going on for, I have heard so much shrieking from Tiger and Boo Boo around my neighbourhood. But thinking about it, since Lenny and Annie and now Colin have started visiting, I don't hear that anymore. I haven't heard it once for weeks. I'm not sure what that means. Did they come to some kind of truce or agreement? Did the troublemakers get pushed out and so it's just the weaklings left? I have no idea. All I know is that Colin is really, really cute, and I do hope he sticks around if it's not too much of a bother for Tiger. Tiger is obviously my best boy, and I just want him to be happy, but for once in his life, it might be nice for him to share. Which, Livy, is a lesson you should learn as well. Stop scaring the new fox. He just wants some food.
Oh, come on. Come on. You've got it.